watching Divine Encounters. I am your hostess, Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo. Today is Wednesday night, supernatural story time, and I just want to say to everyone, thank you so much for being here. I am not getting stabbed with thorns today, and I think that is an amazing thing. Look where I have walls behind me today, you guys. I'm sorry there's not picturesque scenery, mountains, Appalachia, Rockies, or streams today. We are back in Philadelphia. I've only been here a few hours, and a girl can tell that she has not unpacked her baggage. I'm super happy to be here. What a whirlwind it has been these last several months, traveling across the country, meeting you guys, doing shamanic tattoo rituals, healings, mediumship sessions, and all kinds of crazy divine encounters with strangers who became friends, who became family, who became tribe. I am going to make several YouTube videos up with lots of videos and lots of pictures. So make sure you guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel, The Oracle of Apollo, where I'm going to share with you all of my desert, jungle, prairie, and every story in between. And I also visited a place that they said was a cult, to check it out. So if you want to watch my story about me visiting a place that's a cult, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Man, this is crazy. I can't even believe that I'm home after all these months. Hi, Lori Janetta. Hello, Gail. Hello, Cindy. And I am absolutely back. Make sure you guys have your high quality H2O. You guys know I am a big supporter of hydration, and we need to get through this episode nice and hydrated. Taking care of yourself first. Self-care is a thing, and that starts with hydrating. So to your health, wealth, and prosperity. And if you're noticing, I'm not carrying my water drop bottle because it actually smashed. It survived an entire summer in so many climates and territories. And it was until the night right before I was packing that I touched something and I knocked it over and smashed it on the concrete. So that is life. Easy come, easy go. Although I really loved that bottle. Shout out to Water Drop, who always kept me hydrated all summer long with an amazing, beautiful bottle that is now only living in my memory. Sad face. Mr. Cooper, who was dying literally this summer from using flea medicine on his body that created a toxic effect that almost killed my dog. He is doing 100% better, fully in the rebound, and has traveled across the country, living his best retirement life as any elder dog can. So today is no different. Make sure you're putting those hearts and thumbs up, subscribe, follow. I am live streaming every single Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. with much better quality than what we're doing right now. I just got here a few hours ago. I was too tired to set up my studio, guys. So I'm sorry about that. But Sunday night, make sure you're tuning in because I do all of your horoscopes every single Sunday night. And I'm thinking we're going to be changing the show up a little bit because I'm feeling inspired. Wonderful. Let me know what was the best thing about your summer in the comment section below now that we're jumping into the fall. And what are you most excited about in the fall? Yeah, let me know. We're about to get into the show today. We have a beautiful guest coming on. Her name is Marlo. I met her in an event called Heartfire in Colorado that I was never supposed to go to, but wound up there. And we had a beautiful conversation, and she has an amazing story, and she's going to be sharing that with you guys tonight, and hopefully creating some inspiration, eye-opening experiences, and making the impossible seem possible. And of course, we're going to do your card for the collective. The midweek collective card is the energy forecast, and the 1 minute breathing. We're going to calibrate our energy for the rest of the week so we can up level ourselves. And at the end of the episode, we're going to be doing a reading for the collective. And of course, our supernatural story time that we always do. Make sure that you're sharing this out to anywhere, because sharing this feed is being a blessing for the show, as well as sharing the show's message. And you never know, maybe there's somebody out there who has to hear what Marlo has to share today. So without further ado, you guys are going to see my fingers a lot because I am doing this on my phone still. Without further ado, we're going to bring Marlo on. So give her a warm Divine Encounters welcome, seekers. Here is Marlo. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello. How do you do? I'm
Looking,
here in Texas looking at some beautiful water. It's probably blinding you. It's blinding me right now.
it's actually beautiful and golden. So I couldn't bring the picturesque scenery to Divine Encounters today, but you could. So, no one's missing out. We're getting the best of both worlds, internet and beautiful scenery.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this. And yeah, I can't wait to share my story. I haven't told it since right after it happened, basically. So
And
here we go.
we tried to share your story last week, but I was in the middle of the garden in Tennessee at, I'm going to use air quotes, the Colts, because that's what they were calling it, not my words. And it definitely isn't that, but we'll get into that later. And the internet just, I had full bars and we couldn't get your story out. So I feel like your message is so important. We had to repeat an episode, even though we had a full blackout last week. So give it up for Marlo, who's trying this again, who's going to be sharing her story with us today. And I like to start off every single episode, Marlo, with an inspirational card for the day to kind of get us started. I like our energies to be nice and prepped before we all get into your story time. So, to that, I say, what's good?
Ashe. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're going to be doing the six of materials, and for some reason, we're still having technical difficulties. I think it's just Marlo's energy, honestly. All right, Marlo, you're just receiving, and then you're going to give me your thoughts on this card, okay? You ready?
Yes.
All right, great. All righty, so here's a six of materials. I like materials, not too much, not too little. I think just an equal amount, like the number six. Okay, so the six of materials is giving and receiving, the flow of abundance, being charitable, accepting help from others, power balance, sidestepping a miserly mindset. And here's the message: the muse whispers, sacred mirrors are all around. And when the energy flows in perfect balance, all parties are served, loved, found, helped, seen, appreciated, and empowered. She reminds us that we live in a duality that strives to distribute resources and power between the states of having and having not, and between gifting and being gifted. She shows you that needing to receive and needing to give aren't all that different. Aside from your perception of who you think you are and when you are standing in either spot, imbalances of energy can arise from holding on to things too tightly, stagnation, and not being able to hold on to them at all, ungrounded. And both states can stem from a mindset rooted in scarcity. Give freely, share, open your gentle generosity, and consciously create the gift of time, energy, and money. And we're not done. Here's a poem: kind drops of generosity, prosperity to make. This flow state lends porosity. I give all that I can take. Okay, Marlo, how are you feeling about the six of materials? Equal give and take.
Yes, I feel that that's such a beautiful thing. And it's been coming up for me, like, even on my way over here to my mom's house. Um, with flying a sign on an intersection saying that she's a single mom with 3 kids and she needs help, and I am feeling scarcity, but I gave her a handful of coins that I had in my cup holder because just even though it was a small amount, I felt like just the weight of the coins, and there was even like a Sacagawea dollar in there, and just I feel like just that act like would spark more hope in her and more dignity in her, and it felt good for me to give. And recently I was reading about the Zen philosophy from Thich Nhat Hanh, and his philosophy about giving, which is like his Buddhist philosophy, is that sometimes it's selfish to give when we give from the wrong place.
Yes.
So I've been really mindful of that lately, and yeah, that's about all I have to say about that right now. But it was touching on a lot of things for me, for sure.
Could you just expand quickly on what the wrong place is for those people who don't understand that statement?
Um, when you're giving just to be seen as a generous person, not necessarily just the pure knowing that everyone needs something, like that we're all one and we all need to take care of each other, and that's just like some languages don't even have the word thank you because it's just like, well, duh, we all need to help each other because that's how we survive. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's perfectly said, and thank you. And I feel like I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned about these last 3 months is going into these communities with people who are nomadic or people who these places with hardly any structures are their homes, and how they give and take, and that's how these communities thrive. Everybody chips in a little bit, and even though everybody only has a little bit, in some places I asked questions that said, no, I own nothing. I own nothing. I did a tattoo, and he says, give me a little while. This was at the garden, and there's no money exchange at the garden. So this is me giving offering, okay? And he said, I'm gonna bring you something really special. And he leaves for like 30 minutes. But before he left, he's like, but no, when I bring it back, it's gonna be very meaningful. He comes back 30 minutes later, and he opens his arms and he gives me a hug. You understand? And that meant so much to me because I was like, this is deep. This is meaningful. This isn't like a cop out. This is like, I have nothing. And so I embrace you with my love and my gratitude and my thanks. So this is a great way, I feel, to start off this episode for me as well. This resonates with me too. On the witness observational side. So all right, we're going to calibrate our energy now and bring this puppy up, Margot. We're going to use those keywords from that card, and we're going to breathe in for 1 minute. And if this is your first time watching Divine Encounters, this is an experience in your hands. We are creating divine experiences with you at home, anywhere in the world, or maybe you're not even in a home. Maybe you're outside next to a lake. Who knows? I was. So anyways, if this is your first time, what we're going to be doing in this moment is we're going to take 60 seconds to breathe. And then when we start the breathing, I'm going to read the keywords to you, and you're just going to keep your eyes closed and tune in. But before we get into it, I'm going to give you a second to take an assessment of where you're at energetically from 1 to 10. 1 being this is the least amount of energy you can have. 10, this is the most amount of energy you can have. And you're going to type that in the comment section below now. Okay, Marlo, where are you at energetically from 1 to 10? And I'm going to mute you as soon as you answer because you're really windy right now.
Oh, okay.
You feel like a 6 to me.
Yeah. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got a 6. Did you say that out loud, or was that just me listening to you?
Oh, that's what I typed in the chat.
Oh, I haven't looked. I can't look at it. I'm in the phone. All right, so you're at a 6. I'm gonna say I'm at a 6 too. Honestly. Okay, Margot, I'm gonna mute you right now. And I didn't even look at the chat, y'all, because I'm on the phone. Hello, Robert Brooker. Hello. And okay, Lori Gianetta. You guys heard what Margot's at. She's at a 6. Lori Gianetta is at a 5. I'm also at a 6. Gail is at a 3. And Mr. Robert Brooker is also at a 6. All right, you guys know the deal. And if you don't know the deal, we're going to go ahead and close our eyes. I'm going to use a counter, and I'll tell you when to open your eyes again. I promise. So close your eyes now. Take a breath in. We're about to shift some energy. And let's get rid of this shift. Okay, 60 seconds now on a Divine Encounters clock. Eyes are closed. You don't have to look at me. We're going to breathe in the energy of giving and receiving, and just feel that fully in your body and witness it. Do not judge it. Do not label it. Just breathe in and just notice what's coming up for you. Is it tension? Is it pain? Is it stretching? Is it moving? Is it scratching? Distraction? Is it resistance? And then let that go. Breathing in the flow of abundance. On your next natural exhale, just letting that go. Feeling and accepting and appreciating the help from others. Bringing power and balance into our solar plexus. Just breathing in power and balance into the solar plexus. And we're letting go the miserly mindset on the exhale. Beautiful. Just give yourself a moment of gratitude right now and notice what your body is wanting and needing and desiring. And then opening your eyes, coming back to the here and now. And then let me know now, once you come back fully, in the comment section below, where are you at energetically? And did you feel anything hot, cold, tingling, pressure, memories, anything at all? Good, bad, otherwise, type it in the comment section below. Except you, Margot. I'm unmuting you. Okay, welcome back.
Hi.
Where are you at energetically, and did you feel anything?
I did. I'm at probably a 6.5 now, maybe getting towards 7. Yeah, I feel better just kind of rearranging my spine. That's mainly what I was feeling, just awakening my spine a little more and being like, oh yeah, I can feel better, even though it's not necessarily a relaxation. It's more of like a rearrangement.
I like relaxation though, because that's like relaxing and action. That needs to be in the dictionary somewhere. Like, yo, I'm gonna start using that. Yo, you need some relaxation. You know, like for real, like relax and action. That I'm coining that from Margot. Relaxation.
It's Marlo, by the way. Marlo.
Marlo. I don't know why I keep adding a G in there. I can see your name on screen, and my mouth keeps adding a G.
It's okay. So many people do it, and it's kind of another one of my names anyway, so you're good.
I love you anyways, though. That doesn't need a language. Lori Janetta says she has an 8, and she saw an eye with a green circle. Okay. Gail, she's at a 5 now, but she felt tingling, that's really awesome, because I would say that's like an activation of energy. And Mr. Robert is at a 6. All right, fantastic. Oh, wait, he went up to 7. He had memories of the past few days. Not certain. Okay. Thank you, Robert. And you say here imagined memories or imagined memories. So imagination is the catalyst to inspiration. So we never concern ourselves about the differential. All right. Marlo is going to be doing supernatural story time right after this 1-minute commercial. So please, everybody at home, get the kitties, get the husband, get the wife, everybody. Let's just invite everybody. Call your neighbor. Let's get into the supernatural story. Let's have some conversations. Let's do it.
Imagine a verdant paradise that stands as a convergence of worlds, a living temple of native wilderness, a place where the full potential of inherent human and earth magic can be seen, felt, and understood. A space that attracts the brightest and best of educators on the leading edge. A place of permaculture designed for the benefit of future generations.
Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Divine Encounters, and I am back in my home base. I am your hostess, Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo reincarnated. You know, if you guys ever seen my timeline feed, I don't know why it's jumped in my mind right now, but if you ever seen it, there's actually a painting of the Oracle of Apollo from like the 7th century, and I put a picture of me right next to it, and I swear to God, it was like the most identical, freakishly thing that you've ever seen in your whole life. And this was way after the fact that I already knew who I was and remembered. And I thought that was really cool. I had a selfie in the like whatever century. So somebody in Renaissance painted me. I don't even know who painted me, but There it was. All right, today we're going to be talking about Joan of Arc. In our supernatural story time, we're bringing on Marlo. So make sure you guys have some water and an open mind because it's about to flow. All right, Marlo, we're adding you to the stream, and I'm going to just let you take it away from wherever you want to begin. And you have 20 minutes, and I'll give you a 5-minute reminder.
On?
One more time.
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you. I would like to say that this is my first time ever being live streamed on anything. So I'm nervous and excited. So let's just say excited. And I would like to tell you a story today about the Big Easy, which, if you don't know, that's New Orleans. It's kind of a home away from home for me since I grew up in Houston, or it might more accurately be a party away from home because I used to go there to party, and it'll probably happen again soon. So the story it takes place on Mardi Gras at night with these 3 women. I was part of a group of 3 women walking at night through the French Quarter, just trying to get into adventure and a good story. You know, we were all dressed up. I think I was dressed up as a fancy Renaissance cat, and among us was a monk woman with a shaved head and this woman named Shakina, who was dressed in a long pale colored robe, carrying a basket full of treats to give out. And I was more on the receiving end. I was looking for just ground scores, basically, because you find a lot of interesting things on the ground when you're walking around New Orleans and at Mardi Gras. And as we were walking around, we came across a drummer, a lot of drummers actually, and we started dancing. And we were in that moment, I felt we took on the spirit of Mardi Gras, because that's how Mardi Gras is so magical. And if you've ever been to a really famous festival or gathering of any kind, you know that it's all about embodying it fully. And as we were dancing, we were pulled in certain directions, almost like I just felt more like a planet. I don't know if you know that feeling, but just more like full in my being. And we were pulled in these directions together, even though there were people around us, I think, trying to mess with us. It's another aspect of Mardi Gras. And we had to really focus on what we were doing, where we were going, in order to feel safe, with all this going on around us. So we were also just creating our own world with the 3 of us, representing, to me, like, as someone who was also gotten involved in tarot before, the 3 of Cups, and just wanting to have a good time, And I found a trident. It was just a little plastic dinky trident from some costume shop probably, but I picked it up, and symbolically the trident was activated, and we were just on a street corner, if you can imagine, sort of like the outskirts of all the happenings going on. And we were on this street corner by a telephone pole with all kinds of characters walking by, but it was more low key at that time. And as I started to hold up the trident, both of the other women, the monk and Shakina, grabbed a hold of it, and we were holding on to it together. And it became like an anchor, both an anchor. Sorry, there's an ice cream truck going by right now. It became this anchor, but interestingly, it was also lifting us in a way. And suddenly we started swaying, and I instantly felt like I was up to my waist in water, like mucky hurricane water, just very viscerally in it. And I like looked around at Shakina and the monk woman, and they were just closing their eyes and swaying. And I saw the monk woman kind of look down and like almost as if she was like touching the water. And that's when she said, Joan of Arc is here. And right when she said that, it was like someone in my mind was confirming that, like, yes, this is Joan of Arc, she's here. And Shakina was just in the element, in her zone so much that she wasn't speaking. But then the water was rising, and it was like this, the trident was our anchor of the sky realm, just lifting us but grounding us in the place that we were, so that we didn't float away in this, rise, imaginary but very real for us in the moment, rising water that had all this runoff. And I started, like, my heart started beating really fast, and I felt like if I looked down, if I stopped holding and thinking of Joan of Arc and stopped having that faith that she was there to save us and to send us a message, that I might, like, look down and see horrible things, like that there could be pieces of rusty parts of buildings and cars, or body parts even, or pets just, in the water that didn't make it. And so this led me to do a little bit of research about Joan of Arc. And what I found was a really inspiring story, and one that isn't told enough, I think. She is basically a cross-dressing war hero of the 1800s, and she saved France from dominion of the British when they were trying to take over these old French cities. And the army had just about given up hope, and she was only in her teens, and she had this divine calling. She saw angels. She reported, she testified actually, that the angels were visiting her basically in the flesh. Like, that she saw the angels, specifically Michael, and I need to look really quick.
Yeah.
Michael, Archangel Michael, Saint Margaret, and Saint Catherine were the angels that came to her. And she said that they were as perfect in form as they are in spirit, is a quote from her. And yeah, that's really inspiring, right? And that was in an era too where, yeah, people were basically worshiping the human form in art and sculpture. And she's got to see them in basically in her eyes, in the flesh. And so she wore men's like war hero outfits, and that was one of the reasons she was condemned and eventually burned at the stake. So it was like a really big deal. And that was when like political stuff was very religious. And even though she testified like under the name of Jesus and with the church, she was like, I'm with the church, and God is speaking directly to me, and everything that I'm doing is because he's telling me. And it wasn't until long after her death that the Pope actually did come back and say that everything that she testified was true. That was after she was burned at the stake. But
yeah,
unfortunately, that's the way it went. But even then, a quote that she said was that one life is all we have, and we live it as we believe in living it. Every man gives his life for what he believes. Every woman gives her life for what she believes. Sometimes people believe in little or nothing, so they give their lives to little or nothing. We only have one life and then it's gone, but to surrender who you are and to live without belief is more terrible than dying, even more terrible than dying young, which she did die very young. But she was all about faith. Like, she really brought faith to the troops. And even though, like, I definitely don't believe that war is the answer, especially in this time, but she's a testament to me that all you need is a little faith, and to just keep that faith, and no matter what. And she chose to surrender to her calling in such a strong way that she, was willing to die for it. And that was, in an era where that was seen, especially as her being a war hero, that's seen as the best way to die, right? So it's tragic, and also a name she's been given besides being the Maid of New Orleans, the Maid of Orleans, which is interesting that I saw her in New Orleans, because Orleans is the city, one of the major cities in France that she saved from being conquered by the British. And she was born in this town called Pucelle, and that became another one of her nicknames, which means, it's one of those words that has a lot of meanings depending on who you ask. It means virgin, which I think she does kind of represent the spirit of that, because she died that way, and she lived that way and died that way, and that's very glorified in the church. So in a way, she does represent the Virgin Mary, and but it also means, it also became a derogatory term meaning whore, but it also means just villager in some places. And it's just a really fascinating cycle that there's so many words like that today, like pagan, is kind of has the same story. Like, it's at one point just meant villager because everyone was just a person living close to nature, close to the earth, because that's where we all came from. And it became twisted and turned around by the church itself in the name of the church. Like, it's supposed to just be this pure, raw form. And she represents. Sorry?
Why do you think that she came to you at that moment? Like, what do you think her message to you was about your own life? That this entity, energy, spirit came?
Thank you for asking. That's a great question. I think it's because I definitely embody an androgynous kind of soul. I really enjoy that about myself, and even though it's really, really, really hard sometimes to feel comfortable and just to see how society is and how much like weight people put on gender roles, and how it kind of seems like it motivates everything that everyone does. And it just makes for it makes me feel really awkward most of the time when people like are expecting gender roles or playing out these gender roles or making everything about gender. It's really baffling to me. So what I think Joan of Arc represents, and especially me being in the middle of, it was a group of 3 women, so I think it has to do with femininity and me accepting that I'm a woman. But I was with this one woman named Shekinah, who is very, goddess energy, fully divine feminine energy, and this female monk with a shaved head with a more masculine energy. And I was there in the middle, sort of embodying maybe this sprite kind of energy, or just genderless, youthful, playful, like maybe a little bit like Peter Pan kind of character in life and in general. And at Mardi Gras, you let your creatures come out and play that are within you, and they get to play in the streets of the French Quarter with Joan of Arc apparently sometimes. And I think she came to us to give us hope. Like, again, like, just, I still don't know exactly what the rising water is, except that maybe Joan of Arc saved New Orleans from Hurricane Katrina. Maybe she was there to save the New Orleans, and the streets are still alive there. Like, I've always said that and felt that New Orleans will be the last place in the States where street music never dies, no matter how intense the storms get there, because that's just how it is. And I believe that Joan of Arc's spirit is, in the background helping with that.
I think that's a beautiful story, and it's so magical and unexpected. And so to people who are sitting there at home watching this and going, these were just a bunch of girls having too much fun that night and, sharing this moment. This is something that happened to you, and maybe it's your first time, maybe it's your 100th time. But when you're receiving something like this, how can a person who is receiving something like this for the first time, how can they process this? Or do you have a message for those people who may experience something like this for the first time?
I would say, well, I don't know, like, just let it happen. Because for me, I get really excited and it feels very natural, because I think it takes imagination. Everyone has imagination, and that's another message from Joan of Arc, is that she says, where else but from my imagination will God speak to me? Because they were trying to tell her that she was crazy, that these angels were talking to her, but I
like that you use the word imagination, since a little while ago Robert in the comments said memories or imagined memories, and I like that you're tapping into this imagination aspect, because we think that the imagination is something wrong or that it's incorrect, but it's a fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're nurturing and nourishing your imagination, you probably will have an experience like this if you're open to it and if you believe it and want to believe it. So even if you're resisting it, well, you can just turn it off and it'll have less fun and maybe less motivation and passion in your life. But I think it's great to nurture it by just receiving art and then giving art to the world. Otherwise, it kind of gets, this drain thing happens where you just, I think that's where a lot of depression comes from too. Like, I was just telling my friend, I think that the school system is basically like a prison, and that it does also ignite a lot of imagination. There's a lot of really great schools out there, especially ones where kids are allowed to spend time with nature and be guided to their own interests and have their own interests nurtured so that they feel purpose. And I think anyone, even as an adult, you can do that. You can you can relive your childhood if you felt like it was robbed from you. You can relive that at any time. You can tap into that spirit of youth, because I think that is where imagination is the strongest. And after we're kids, it is kind of just a memory of that, but you can dive into.
Oh no, Marlo just fell into the world of imagination. And I'm imagining that dog, maybe in the background, chased a cat, was also being yelled at by somebody. So I'm just imagining that the dog and cat scene that's happening in your vicinity with the woman yelling.
You could hear all that.
I did. I heard all of it. I heard the dog, then the cat, and then the dog, and then the woman yelling at the dog.
Yeah, all the dogs are barking right now. I'm just walking around the neighborhood.
Do you have any offerings or that you want to share that we can plug? Or do you have an email or something you want to share if somebody wants to connect with you and extend the dialogue?
Yeah, I would love that actually. I'm a bit of a hermit lately, so any kind of connection, especially if it's about Joan of Arc or permaculture, which is my main thing. I'm a permaculture consultant, designer, educator, and sometimes installer if I have the time. So I am also a traveler. So yeah, pitch me your ideas for your land project, and you can find me on Instagram at Forest Fruits Permaculture. And yeah, maybe you can link that somewhere for me, Oracle.
Yes, I will put it in the comment section. Right. Hold on. I'm trying to find how to do it. Post comment. It is Forest.
Yeah, Forest Fruits, plural, fruits, permaculture.
Permaculture.
And if you don't know what permaculture,
Thank
it's
you.
basically ecology. And if you want to learn more, just send me a message.
I think that's perfect. And it's super important for us to learn about permaculture if you've never heard of it. I spent an entire summer learning about this, and it's amazing. We all need it in our lives. And I went to the store in the city today and bought everything organic. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, yay, me
Woo! Look at
making right
you.
food decisions.
Oh, yeah, you're investing in your health care. That's what you're doing.
I am. All right. So we're going to jump into the reading for today, Marlo, and we're going to bring you right back. And you're going to give us your thoughts on what the message for the collective is.
Okay, I look forward to it.
All right. Enjoy that sunshine. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're gonna be whatever my words, just like doing whatever they want to do today, adding J's and I don't know what's happening. All right, we're gonna jump into the midweek collective energy check-in and see what the forecast is for the week. Anytime you watch this is the right time to receive this message. These readings are timeless, just like your essence. Alrighty, we're going to be doing your midweek collective energy check-in, and let's see what the first card is. Yes, shall we? We have, I know I shuffled these. I'm making this face because I dropped this card earlier, and then I shuffled the deck really good, and it still came up. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision. And be a leader. Advice from someone creative. Excuse my nails. I haven't not gotten the entire universe out of them yet since I've gotten back a few hours ago. King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. It's time for us to put the metal to the pedal. This is that time for harvest, so it's time to dot the I's, slash the T's, and do all the things, but we have to focus and be diligent. And it's a good time to plan daily actions, daily practices to make sure that we stay on the right track at all times. Very imperative that you focus and get out the distractions. Get the distractions out. Go away, distractions. We have the Moon card. This is really funny. I literally just got this reading from Minnow Pond. We got the Moon card. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. And if you were like me a few days ago talking to the moon, this could be that the moon is listening to your prayers, thoughts, and desires and making sure that you're being clear on what you are manifesting at this time. Also, releasing any fears. Do you have mindset scarcity? Do you have abundance scarcity mindset, rather? Just like that card that we talked about earlier today about the equal give and take. Make sure you're letting go of everything that is holding you back fear-wise, because whatever you put out to the universe is what you're going to be getting back. But also, there's plenty of opportunities for people to help you, serve you, and to elevate you on your path. So don't get bogged down by that scarcity mindset. The Page of Air. So there's a lot of truth coming in, honest, impulsive, curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. There's a lot of truth here that's coming in, and it's going to be coming in very swiftly. And this might not always be something that you want to hear. However, truth is something that does have to be heard. It is not always comfortable to hear truth. it can hurt your feelings. That doesn't make it untrue. So if it does arise, just ensure that you're in a space of receiving, because when we receive information, it's ultimately for our growth. We have our cup runneth over. This is our emotions expanding. Maybe this truth is going to allow us to really tap into a deeper version of ourselves. Maybe we needed to see Joan of Arc in order to understand that we can be just as strong. And that is a way for our cup to run it over. And for our next card, we have focus on the positive. That card of the king said focus, focus, focus. So, and we have that 6, which was all about balance. Make sure we're staying focused on the positive and sowing the seeds of positivity so that we can also receive that in return. Your greatest work is your legendary legacy. What are you leaving for those people after yourself? Your legendary legacy. Is it love? Is it joy? Is it permaculture? What are you leaving for other people to move forward with? Okay. And that is where, when you tap into your heart space, that is where your best work is going to be done from. And then finally, this whole entire episode was about, I can't speak today, faith and hope. Trust and act accordingly. That was kind of like that word that we made up earlier. Relaxation. Relax and take action. Relax and take action. Trust and act. Trust and act. All right. Beautiful. And then finally, we're going to finish this off with the world card. This is the card of completion. We've done the thing. We've done the thing. We've completed a chapter and we're moving into something else. With that something else is about death being an illusion. Death is an illusion. Seasons come and go. Things change. Nothing stays forever. So what we need to release may just be those things that were no longer serving us, just like the leaves falling in the trees at this very moment in time. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pull the crystal of the week. We have the Golden Healer crystal card here. The Golden Healer card, I know it's a type of quartz, but it's also just an internal healing, a willpower healing. This gives us energy. So if we need focus, willpower is the area where we're going to be needing that focus at. All right, let me know in the comment section below if this reading resonates with you. What resonates? What stands out to you? Doesn't have to be the exact card, but maybe just a feeling that rises up. And let's get Marlo back on here to share with us. Are you still there? You don't have a camera.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
There you are.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just really feeling all those cards and just remembering how great your reading was that you gave me. And it sparks a lot of just connection for me to just opening myself to having more of these experiences, because I think they are really profound and important, that I think if more people were having them, then like the whole world would probably be better. And the Trust and See card is the one that stood out to me the most, because trust is a big topic of my healing path lately. So trust and act, and the relaxation part is like, oh, okay, yeah, we can act in a relaxed manner, because I deal with anxiety and I've had to cut out all caffeine, like even tea, no matter how much I love it, and chocolate. Sometimes I really have to cut back and like take it easy so I can trust and act, because everything is better when we just put our all into it with focus and concentration, like you also brought up. So thank you so much for your readings. Like, this is really good stuff. So thank you.
Beautiful. You're welcome. You guys are all welcome. And you know, the trust and act is kind of like when you tell someone to like relax. I feel like that is also saying like trust it. Like when there's something going wrong and you tell someone, hey, it's okay, relax. It's really saying like trust the process and act in accordance. So like act in joy, act in hope, act in surprise, and just allow whatever it is to be in a positive way so that we can continue to sow those seeds of faith and those seeds of trust as we move forward. Because what limits us is that we think what's directly in front of us is the thing that is just there, and I'm using the word just because it limits anything behind the wall. right? It's just there. But when we recognize that faith is the act of trusting blindly, then we can go ahead and trust that there's something better beyond that wall. Thank you so much, Marlo, for being here. It was an honor to have you. And of course, if you know someone, please send them my way to come on the show too. Drop your comments and your questions in the comment section below, and I will forward them to Marlo. If you're watching this, Seeker, and you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay Marlo question, and I'll make sure that she gets this. And thank you, everybody, so much for being here. So let's close out this episode with my final thoughts on Marlo's story.
Do you or someone you know experience something supernatural that has left a positive impact on yourself or the lives of others? Want to share your story on our show? Please email Divine Encounters at e360tv.com, and together, let's create divine experiences. And now, the Oracle's final thoughts con mucho amor.
What an amazing supernatural story time. I really got a lot out of this story. I love Joan of Arc. I love the fact that Marlo really didn't know who Joan of Arc was before she got the message of hope and faith and the vision that she just so happened to see while synchronizing up with some friends in New Orleans. It shows that anytime you're in a space, anything can happen at any moment if you just surrender into the experience and create your own divine experience. I feel like I've taken away to ensure that I stay in my faith, in my trust, knowing that I too believe that I am willing to walk this path so deeply that nothing else matters. Nothing else, no matter how it happens, it doesn't matter. As long as we stay true to ourselves, true to our mission, and true to why we're here. I hope you guys go forward and create your own divine experiences. And may you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, to love thyself. And remember, the divine always has your back. Tune in with me Sunday night when I do all of your horoscopes. And I'll see you next Wednesday for another supernatural story time. Ciao.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels the most, just hold on. Just hold on.